Heart healthy grains, not so much. Today, we're going to talk about um, wheat and other grains. We need to walk away from all of it. So this is similar to, the no bread discussion, but it's a little bigger and it's a little deeper. So there are all the standard reasons, right? That those starches, they look different to us. They look, they feel different on the tongue. A piece of bread or a tablespoon of sugar, but a couple slices of bread, they're going to spike your blood sugar as much as a tablespoon of sugar. So we see starch, body sees sugar, it's all the same. So it spikes your blood sugar. That's why we don't want the starches, the grains, the bread, the pasta, the cereals. Um, and I think I forgot to mention this yesterday with the sugar, that eating carbs makes you crave more carbs. When you're eating protein or natural fat, you start off hungry, hopefully, because you're not snacking. And as you eat, you get more and more satiated. But when you're eating that piece of cake, when you're eating that bowl of pasta, let's face it, you're really not getting full. You're not. Like you might not be starving anymore, but your body is like one more bite, one more bite, one more bite. And it's not just because it tastes good. It's a chemical thing that your body, when you eat grains and any carbs, it flips that switch that says, "Oh, I'm full now," turns it off. So you're very prone to overeating. So that's all kind of the same as sugar. But there are other things with grains, and I get this from Dr. William Davis, his work on wheat belly. You know, I think do you ever play the game Operation when you're a kid? I think whatever we were taking out around the belly area was called the bread basket or something. And that's true. You tend to um, put the weight that you gain from eating grains around your belly. And that's dangerous fat. If your arms are putting on a little weight, that's not a problem. But the weight that piles on your midsection around your internal organs, that's trouble. And that's where the weight tends to land when you're eating grains. There are other things that I never expected, like uh, grains can impact your brain function. You can have a foggier mind. Uh, Grains are shown to be connected to mood. Well, that feels right because I'm in a good mood when I'm eating a bowl of pasta, but no, it's the other way. That there are connections to um, mood in a negative way. It's also addicting, so it's hard to stop eating it. I'm pretty sure that's grains. That might have been sugar. And I'll have to double check that one. Grains, and I'm not going to tell you the scientific reasons why. I just remember the broad strokes. They're bad for your skin and they're bad for your joints. They're inflammatory. And in particular, if you've got skin issues, it might be the grains. If you're getting achy arthritic joints, could be the grains. Minerals. There's something in grains that binds to those minerals that we need so that even when you're eating your, let's say, your sea salt, um, something in the grains is blocking your body from using them. And children who eat a lot of grains, and isn't that all kids these days? Gosh, I think we went right from breast milk to cereal, right? Isn't that the first thing we do with kids? And then we feed them cereal and Pop-Tarts and toast and bagels. It's all grains. Um, but it's been shown to cause behavior issues, problems focusing, ADHD or ADHD symptoms in children. So it's so hard to believe that something that has been a staple of our diet forever could cause so many troubles. So I'd like to pop into this one thing. The name of this book, the classic book of Dr. Davis, is Wheat Belly. So he talks about wheat, but he says that there are problems with olive grains, all of the grains, not olives. But in particular, the modern versions of the grains that we're eating bear no resemblance to, the bread that Jesus ate at the Last Supper. And it's much more problematic for us. It's, in many ways, another kind of man-made food. Oh, you see the street light above me there. This is my sunrise walk. Technically, sun was rising as I stepped out the door. But I had to sneak out exactly at sunrise because the rain is due in like 3 minutes. And so I wanted to get this in. So I wish I had a little more sun and a little less street light. Oh, all right. Enough. I've rambled too long about the sad news. Couple of pointers. Gluten-free does not mean grain-free. Oh, and about the gluten. I never thought I was gluten sensitive, but after eating clean low carb for so long, last summer we were going on vacation and we kicked it off with a little tradition of having treats at our house before we got into the car and made the 2-hour drive to our destination. And my husband brought treats from a bakery that we've always loved their goods. And I haven't eaten them in the past couple of years, but this day I'm like, you know what? I'll just have half a turnover. I was destroyed. In all the ways people who can't eat gluten understand. And I couldn't figure out why. And then I looked into it because it's not like I haven't cheated before. I tell you, I cheat for pizza on Fridays. But bakeries often use, especially the upscale bakeries, will use a high gluten flour. So, that did me in. So gluten might destroy you in particular, but still, something that's gluten-free might not have the gluten in it, but there are still going to be some harmful, potentially problematic, let's just say, elements that our bodies do not need or want. And gluten-free does not mean grain-free. So what about all of the other grains out there? They're similarly problematic. I know it's hard to think of living in a grain-free world. But, I kind of push the mug cake and everything, but I wanted to push fathead dough chips because one of the things I like more than anything is a nice crispy crunchy cracker. Pretzels used to be my big snack. And fathead dough chips are mozzarella cheese and almond flour. Almonds, those aren't grains. so you can use almond flour, also coconut flour, but that's harder to work with. And you can have homemade crackers, 2-ingredient homemade crackers, in less than 15 minutes. So try that. If you haven't been willing to go all the way to giving up the grains, or maybe you'll give up the bread, but you still, you need that crunch, try the fathead dough crackers. All right, I am Eileen. I reversed the worst of my early Alzheimer's symptoms through a clean low-carb diet. That's what I like to talk about here on my new little channel. If you're interested in all of my baby steps for clean low-carb living, check the description for some links. Thank you for spending time with me today. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting on my video. I hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay strong, wise, kind, and good. Choose good food for good health. Bye.